Hi, this is Jeff, and in this how-to video we're going to cover a 2011 Mini Cooper seatbelt tensional replacement. And basically the backstory on this is when I went into, I replaced the seat in my Mini Cooper, wanted a more sporty seat. When I did, I replaced it, and after the seats were replaced, a seatbelt error came up. Took it to a local gas station. They told me the error was associated with the error code for the seatbelt tensioner. Probably makes sense. If the car was in an accident, then the tensioner was probably damaged. So what I'm going to do is replace the tensioner now. I have to pull the seats out to do that. Since I already have an error code, I'm not going to disconnect the battery. However, if you were doing work and didn't have the error code already, then you would want to disconnect the battery to keep from the error code happening, because when there's power to the car and you unplug the seats, as I'll show you later, you would actually get this error code. But since that's not the case, I already have it, I'm not going to worry about it. However, you do want to have the power off when you take the seat out. The tools you need to do this job, basically I have a new part here. This is the seatbelt tensioner that I'm going to be replacing, the new part. You're going to need a T40 star ratchet, just a screwdriver to be able to pry some things. You're going to have to some cutters, because there's some table tie that you have to take off. So you want to have a new cable tie, and you want to make sure you have that, because you don't want to get in the middle of the job and then all of a sudden find you don't have it. So these are the tools needed to complete the job. First thing you have to do is actually take the seat out. So that's what I'm going to do next, and we'll get started. All right, the first step for this project is seat removal. Basically, seat removal is very easy. There's 4 star-shaped bolts that you take out, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. You remove these 4 things, and then that'll allow the seat to come out after you disconnect it. I'm going to get the 4 bolts out, and then I'll show you the cable disconnection. Okay, so I've removed the 4 bolts that held the seat in. You can see here was the holes. Here's where they came out in the front. The next step is to actually go underneath the car, and you'll see this yellow sensor right here. What you have to do is actually go in and pull off this black unit right here. You can see what I'm doing. Get in here. That just pulls this out, and that actually just slides this connection out from the car. So now I've disconnected the seat from the car, and I can pull the seat from the car, and I think it's going to be easier to work on the car pulled, so I'm going to pull it out, turn it upside down, and continue replacing the seatbelt tensioner. Okay, I got the seat out of the car, got it propped up on something so it's at eye level, easier to work on. Here's my replacement part. I've got this whole assembly I'm going to replace. Here's the tensioner part. Here's the cabling system that I have to use, that I have to take out. So the first step is to actually, I'm going to do is just remove this assembly. And I'm going to loosen it up and take this out. It takes a T45 bolt. And so I'm going to loosen that up, take it off, and then we'll turn the camera around and actually look at the inside assembly and what we have to do. Okay, now we're into the electronics portion of it. The cable that is attached to the seatbelt tensioner. The cable that's attached to the seatbelt tensioner is right here, and it goes into this assembly here. So one of the first things you have to do is cut that tie that binds all these together. It's right here. So what I'm going to do is just cut that so I can get access to these, and then I'll tighten it back, put it back on once I get got that off. Next thing you have to do is actually pull these out. They're just these are the different sensors that are associated with it that are plugged into here, and there's 2 of them. The seatbelt conditioner is the second sensor, so there's a little latch here that you pull up on, and it allows you to slide those out. So what I'm going to do is pull up on those and slide them out as best as possible. There's one on both sides. There we go. Got that one out. It's not the one we want. The seatbelt conditioner is actually tensioner is actually the second one. So I'm going to pull that one out right now. There it is. You can see it. That's the one we want to take out. I'm going to unwind it from the cables here. Try to remember where you put them so you can replace it back in that same scenario. So got that. Then the last thing that needs to come off is there's I don't know if you can see it, there's a clip that attaches to the seatbelt frame that holds that on. If you just push down on it, that should make it come off. So now I've detached the conditioner, the old one, and I can take it off. So now it's been removed, and I'm going to repeat that same process with the new one. Okay, so now I've attached the other one onto that bolt assembly. I'm going to reattach that clip. You can see it right here. I'm going to feed this underneath this one because I think that's where it was. It's actually underneath both these. And if you can see right here, there's a little assembly where this fits into and just snaps down in there to hold it in place. So I'm going to snap that in place next. Okay, that's in place. They had slipped this under here to give it a little more support. And then I believe it had come back down underneath and in between these two pieces. So now what I'm going to do is put that back in the second spot. All right, so those are in. And the next thing they had was that cable tie. So I'm going to snap those in. So now everything's back assembled. Last thing I need to do is put that cable tie to keep these cables together in a nice even way. I think this cable was actually under that one, so I'm going to push that one underneath it a little bit. I think so one of the things I was reading about is this: you really want to make sure that this is nicely put back together again, and that was right, because that can also cause some error code. So I'm going to get the clip and I'm going to put on here, and then we're ready to reinstall the seat. Okay, so I've, as you can see, I've reinstalled the seats. I did find something as I was reinstalling them. It's better to put the back bolts in first, get the alignment with those in there, tighten them up, tighten them all the way down so that the seat glide will move all the way back, and then do the front ones. That made it easier to install. Also the clip, once you line it in there, just slide it as far as you can forward and it snaps in place. Then just do a double quick check, make sure all the cables are correct before you reinstall it. So the next step for me is to take it to my local mechanic, or somebody who has a computer for a Mini, and see if it'll reset the seatbelt light. And other than that, so that concludes this, and hopefully this was helpful for you. Thanks for watching.